What is up? It is the Fit Gear Hunter, and this is going to be the world's loosest review for the Apple Watch Ultra 2. I'm going to talk about it more conceptually. So this channel is specifically focused on training and training devices for higher intensity training and recovery dependence, or watches that provide some sort of recovery evaluation, mostly for high intensity interval training and CrossFit. So that's the vantage point that we're going to sort of look at the review for the Apple Watch Ultra 2, because in the past and up to this point, I have not been a fan of the Apple Watch products, especially when they had the rounded edges and that was one design and that was all you had as an available choice. And then with the Apple Watch Ultra Original, I thought, well, it's getting closer because they have better battery life, it has a more rugged case, it has, for me, a more masculine design, and all those things helped make it more appealing. But the crux of the Apple Watch in general was always on the training and recovery side. It was always built into the limitations that it had to rely on multiple third-party apps and have to go try to cobble together a culmination of different pieces of information. And the Apple Watch itself doesn't even natively track all the information necessary to make it any of these apps capable of giving you quality feedback when it comes to especially recovery, because the Apple Watch doesn't natively track really your HRV over the course of the night. So that and therein lied the problem with the Apple Watch Ultra. So when I look at the Apple Watch Ultra 2, we look at it just in the review for itself. It is basically the same watch as the Apple Watch Ultra 1. It's the same design. It really just feels the same all around. There's a couple of tweaks that make it slightly better. So what is different and what do I think matters in the differences? Because there are not many. I do think that the processor being stronger and more evolved makes it for more energy efficiency. So I do get a little bit better battery life, although I cannot keep it sustained over, my morning shower and then my post-workout shower. That's not enough. It eventually dies and has to be sat on the charger for a definitive or a focused period of time in order to keep up with my normal life. So the processor does make it more efficient and does make it more able to at least last a little bit longer, in my perception, from the Apple Watch Original. And then the flashlight, surprisingly, the flashlight for me has been somewhat decent because of the brighter screen. So the Apple Watch Ultra 2 has a 3000 nit brightness. That's really bright. And the Apple Watch Ultra 1 has a 2000 nit brightness. But you don't really notice or need that in any way when you're actually in day-to-day life. But on the flashlight, I find just dedicating that side button to the flashlight, it is actually equivalent or similar, at least, to the Garmin flashlight, which I have been obsessed with and just use on a daily basis from the Garmin watches. Started with the Fenix 7X and then went to the Pro series on all models of the Fenix and the Epics, as well as the Instinct 2X. The flashlight has been a fundamental part of daily life for me. So the fact that the Apple Watch Ultra 2 has a 3000 nit brightness screen, it makes the flashlight, which just turns the screen on full brightness, functionally capable. I find it's actually just as easy just to push the flashlight button in the early crack of dawn before I get up, before sunrise. When I'm walking around the house, it just illuminates the whole area and makes it useful, just like I said. So that has been really helpful with the Apple Watch Ultra 2. So those are the things. Those are the limitations. I don't use those little 2 forefinger and thumb pressing capabilities. I'm not trying to see if I can get Siri to add health data from the Apple Watch into Apple Health, because those are some functional things that have been added with the Apple Watch Ultra 2 that I don't think have any value at all. So What do I look at when I look at the design limitations when it comes to the Apple Watch Ultra 2 or the Apple Watch Ultra 1 broadly, as using it now on a daily basis for like a month? So I definitely do not like that it is screen dependent. Although I've gotten more used to it, I don't like that you have to be able to touch the screen in order to start a workout. So like, it is freezing outside. I apologize, my hair probably looks like crap because it's actually been under a hat. It's 35 degrees this morning. So the fact you can't always get gloves, even with the little things to get it to start and stop a workout, they have to take the glove off because you don't have button control. That is a nuisance to somebody that just, in a lot of conditions, again, we're talking about a training watch. We're talking about a watch that's capable for intense training under all conditions. It's not designed for ease of access, ease of use under all conditions. It's just flat out not. And I'm sure you could change some button configuration, but in general, you have to, at times, remove a glove to get it to work. So not the lack of button dependence, the battery life issue, as I mentioned, this is going to sound crazy because they really upped the speed at which the quick charging is working. I think if they could make it even better, where like, if they're going to have such sort of somewhat limited battery life, if they could make it to where like, 10 minutes on the charger gets 60% recovery or some crazy thing, then it would be like, okay, a shower a day or a shower twice a day would actually keep up. So battery life is still an issue. And other than that, the primary and final thing that's an issue is the training and recovery analytics and software. So limitation number one is that, and we'll talk about the solution and how I feel about the Apple Watch Ultra, Apple Watch as a solution now. Limitation, primary significant limitation, is that Apple does not natively track HRV. So they basically take, like, out of the box, a spot check every 2 to 3 hours. That's not enough at all to track a recovery metric off of HRV, and HRV has been relatively widely proven physiologically to be a metric to look at very closely if you want to look at your recovery or things going on in your body. If you turn on AFib and you tell an Apple Health, this is not in the watch, in Apple Health, you say, I have an AFib issue, my doctor gave me a note, yes, it's been prescribed by a doctor that I have an AFib issue, then it'll track HRV while looking at AFib about every 15 to 20 minutes while you're sleeping. That's still not enough data, and there will be like a couple of erroneous measurements tonight. We've talked about this at length, but that's a way that you can get at least more samples. So the fact that it doesn't track it natively is a fundamental and still fundamental problem of the Apple Watch Ultra. For these third parties to provide recovery evaluation. So what has changed in my Apple Watch experience has been Superset, the addition of a new application called Superset, and I have no affiliation with them. I haven't been given access to even beta testing of some of their software. But Superset has, to me, made the Apple Watch finally feel more comprehensive and more what you need all in one place. Before, I would go to like 6 different apps to look at what each of these apps might think about my recovery or my training. That's way problematic. That to me just feels like this is stupid. This is not well designed because you don't have an out-of-box solution. But now that Superset is here, I feel like Superset gives you the snapshots in, and it is so similar and so close to what I'm getting in other devices that track recovery, that track training. I'm really getting an overlay and a replication with, what I get in these other devices. So Superset, it basically has given me the experience that I feel with a little bit higher confidence. So number one, they take a different variant of HRV tracking, which I feel, or has been, more in line with what I know my training is going through and what I know my body physiologically is going through and my recovery. So the recovery results or the recovery analysis is more reflective of what I know to be true from the training that I'm doing, as well as the way that I feel. Now that's somewhat subjective, but the way that they're tracking HRV is different than Athletic as an app, and then even the measurements you're literally seeing if you go into Apple Health and look at HRV. So they're taking a better physiological version from that data that Apple captures, and it is giving better quality recovery insights or advice. I now look at Superset every morning and value what it says, and I didn't feel that with Athletic. I do think Athletic is a really great app with very comprehensive features to it. I personally like the layout and the visual design of Superset, but also feel that its analytics are more helpful to me. So what do I think in general now in comparing the Apple Watch Ultra now to the world of intense training or recovery devices? I now think, because of the addition of Superset and the culmination of what I would think is everything that I would need or want to analyze my recovery and my training, I think now it is a competitive device. I don't know that it's going to sway me from, using Garmin, because Garmin is still a much more comprehensive device in a lot of fronts, in a lot of regards, and they are really focusing on the sports science and adding like sports profiles that literally tie into machines or have tracking data metrics that relate to the sport that you're doing. So they're so far advanced, not in my opinion, that's actually not an opinion, they're so much more advanced than the Apple Watch is from a training and recovery analysis side. That's just a fact, because they have all the training and analysis stuff. You're just having, if you have an Apple Watch, you're just relying on, third-party app writers. So that is my summary now when I look at the Apple Watch, is that it is competitive or is a solution that's viable in the sports training recovery world because of the addition of Superset, which allows it to be a more comprehensive device that was not previously an option in that way. So that's my review for the Apple Watch Ultra 2, is really in light of what is provided compared to the Apple Watch Ultra 1. So I think of the Apple Watch Ultra 2, it's a minor update, has some features that are better than the original that make it a little bit more useful than the original, but it's the fact that there's now an application that provides a more comprehensive training and recovery analysis that makes the Apple Watch Ultra 2 or the Apple Watch Ultra Original or the Apple Watch Series 9 makes them a competitive, more well-rounded option in today's training and recovery device world. So with that, that's the review for the Apple Watch Ultra 2 relative to the 1 and what you need to make it truly useful. It's the Figure Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.